In this video, we're going to be looking at completing this square. So the first thing we need to know about completing this square is a recap of quadratics where we have ax squared plus bx plus c. So we're looking at a quadratic, and when we're completing the square, it gives us this strange form here, this x plus p squared plus q. So if we break that down quickly, we can see that we've got brackets which is squared, and then we've got this extra plus q to try and complete it. We'll have a look at how that looks shortly. So how do we do it? Well, we take the b term, this number in front of the x, and we always divide that by 2. So in this case, the 6, we're going to divide that by 2, and that is going to be our p-value. So if I just write this x plus 6 divided by 2 here, and squared, then that will be the first part of our completed the square method. If I just go to the side here and write this out fully, x plus 3 squared looks like this. So we have our double brackets, expanding those in the normal way with FOIL or however you do that. So x times x times 3, 3x, 3 times x is another 3x, and then 3 times 3 is 9. So when I tidy this up a bit, x squared plus 6x plus 9, we can see that that double brackets there has almost given us the thing that we actually want in the question, x squared plus 6x plus 10. This x squared plus 6x plus 9 is very slightly out. So when we look at the difference between this and this, okay, then we can see that we've got x squared plus 6x plus 9. We actually need 10, so we just have to add an extra 1 like that. Okay, let's try another one. X squared plus 8x plus 12. In that case, we're going to take the b term, which is 8, divide that by 2. That becomes a 4. So when we do that to the side, x plus 4, you'll see as you get used to this that the x squared plus 4x will become 8x, and that's why we divide it by 2, because when we expand it, we do this plus 4x twice. And the last term is going to be 4 times 4, which is 16. Okay, so this double brackets here would give us x squared plus 8x plus 16, and we only want 12. So we have to remove 4, subtract 4, in order to make that balance. So the 16 take away 4 gives me the 12. Okay, what happens if we have a minus sign? We do exactly the same thing. X squared minus 10x plus 20. Okay, the b term is minus 10. Divide that by 2 is minus 5. We'll do that to the side. X minus 5, and we'll get x squared minus 5x is minus 10x. So we always get the first two terms the same if we do this correctly. And then minus 5 times minus 5 is plus 25. So because these are squared, we always get a positive number at the end. 25, we only want 20, so minus 5. Okay, so completing the square isn't actually too bad once you get the hang of this first step. We're just going to take the b term, divide it by 2, and then the completing part is this kind of fudge factor at the end to try and make it balanced to what we actually want. Okay, now what does this actually give us? What's the whole point of completing the square? Well, when we look at the quadratic, let's go back to our first example here, x squared plus 6x plus 10, then this would look something like this. Okay, and how did I know that? Well, we can look at this completed the square version, and these two numbers here are very important in that they give us the coordinates of the minimum point of the curve. Okay, so the plus 1 on the outside is probably the easiest part. Plus 1 is the y coordinate, so positive 1 there. So as a coordinate 1. And then the x coordinate is a bit strange. Plus 3 becomes minus 3. So whatever the number is there, we change its sign to its opposite. So a minus 3 would become plus 3. So that is minus 3 there. Minus 3, 1. So if you're ever asked to find the coordinates at the minimum point of a quadratic, then you can use completing the square to help you. Okay. The next level up is when we have a number in front of the x squared, like 2x squared. So what happens here? Well, when we do this one, we can, whatever the number is in front, we take that out as a factor for the first two terms. So 2 times x squared, and then the 2's into 10x go 5x, like that. And we just leave this plus 7 as it is. So we just factor out the 2 from these first two terms. Okay. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm going to actually complete the square on x squared plus 5x, just this bracket here. So if I was completing the square on this, I'd have x plus 5 divided by 2, 5 over 2 squared. Okay. And if I put this to the side and expand this, x plus 5 over 2, x plus 5 over 2, then I would get x squared plus 2.5x plus another 2.5x is the 5x that I want. And then I'd have 5 over 2 times 5 over 2, which is 25 over 4. Okay, so I know that looks a bit strange, but sometimes you have to deal with these fractions. You can leave it as 2.5 and decimals if you like. It doesn't really matter too much. But this inner bracket here now, if I just put a little square bracket around this, this x squared plus 5x has now become x plus 5 over 2 squared. And then to balance this out, I have to remove this 25 over 4. So subtract 25 over 4, like that. So x squared plus 5x, when I complete the square, looks like this. I've still got my 2 in front and this plus 7, which I haven't done anything to. And then the final step is to expand these with the 2 in front. So the 2x plus 5 over 2 squared. 2 lots of 25 over 4, it's a minus, so that would become 25 over 2. And then we still have this plus 7 here. Okay, we're going to collect these together. X plus 5 over 2 squared. And then I've got minus 12.5 plus 7 is minus 5.5, so minus 11 over 2, like that. Now, this one, when we have a look at the quadratic, I'll just sketch it here. This plus 5 over 2 would become minus 5 over 2, so minus 2.5. And the y coordinate would be minus 11 over 2, which is minus 5.5. Like that. So our curve would look something like this. Okay. Now, we can use the calculator to check this, so I'm just going to load this up quickly. Okay, so with the calculator loaded up, we're going to go to the equation function and polynomial, which is all of our quadratics, ax squared plus bx plus c. And we can put in the numbers for a, which is 2, 10 for b, and 7 for c. Now, when we solve, we usually want this x1 and x2 values, which would actually correspond to these x-intercepts here. But when we keep scrolling down, you can see that the minimum for this is when x equals minus 5 over 2. So minus 2.5, if I change that to a plus, that will give us this p value here. And then if I scroll down one more time, minus 11 over 2 is the y coordinate. So you can change these into decimals if you want. And the calculator will confirm our completed square for us. Whatever the number is in front of the x squared, we take that out as our factor. So it could be a minus as well. We do exactly the same thing. Hope that's helpful. If you need any help, just let me know.